What goes through your mind today?
I don't know. It's time to go. Season's over. Get your stuff and go home. It's disappointing. The team we had, who knows how well we could have done.
How we could have done is there a bit into it?
No, it's what it is. You can look back and try and dissect and say things, but bottom line, the season's over, and we go home empty-handed, and it's disappointing.
Of course, the last 24 hours for you has been all the talk. Obviously, not dressing for Game 7, with Fitzy and all that other stuff. What's that been like for you personally?
It's tough. I'm a guy that's very competitive, and I like to play, and to sit and watch a Game 7 was, one of the hardest things I had to do in my career. But in the big scheme of things, it's not one of the hardest things I've had to go through in my life. So it's disappointing, and I wish that I would have an opportunity to do something about the series, but I didn't. So I had to watch like everybody else.
Did it make any sense to you?
I see trying to get Fitzy in the lineup. I understand. It's when you're a player, you play. And that's all you can hope for is an opportunity. And I had 6 games of the 7, and we didn't get it done. And I would have liked to play Game 7, but it's not up to me.
Isn't that kind of how you build your reputation, though?
Well, there's nothing to say at this point. The season's over, and after I get further away from it, maybe I'll have more of perspective on what happened this year. I'm just I thought the team we had, to lose in the first round is a failure. And people look at well, the team did so poorly the last couple of years, and didn't make playoffs, and we should be happy with that. Well, I look at what we had and where we ended up, and my expectations were a lot higher for this group. And I think that's why you see the fans are upset as well. Everyone should say, oh, it's a building year, we're going in the right direction. Well, if you played 10 years in this league, you're pretty lucky and doing well, and every year you don't do something is wasted. So I feel like it was a tough year for me to swallow. Certainly the hardest one of my professional career.
No, you say, Gabe said all your injuries and calls are a big part of every team, but did that?
I don't think that had anything to do with it.
Not in the playoffs, but
I don't think it had anything to do with anything.
No. What?
That's the way the American League works. Guys get called up, guys get hurt, and you deal with it. Other teams deal with it, and
Is that just something you don't think you guys were really ever able to deal with all season?
No, I don't know. We just weren't. We just didn't play up to our potential.
You heard the fans last night, I assume.
How could you not hear? They were not very happy, and it's tough to watch. I felt bad for the guys. They're trying. And it just wasn't happening. You can't. You got to take your hat off to Abbotsford. They played very well, and it's not all on the guys that played or the guys that didn't play, and from a fan, I guess it comes out as frustration, and that's all I have to say about that.
The situation with Fitzy, he was saying last night how much it weighed on him the last 2 or 3 weeks with the playing time during the playoffs, and he claimed there was a lack of communication between coaches and himself. Did that situation maybe weigh on the rest of the team? Obviously everybody else was aware of it.
I don't know. It didn't it didn't affect me, but I'm not going to speak for everybody else on the team. You know, I don't want to say anything that's going to I'm going to regret later, so I'm not going to go into anything else. I have a contract for another year with Florida and Rochester, so we'll see what happens. Unless something changes, I'll be back.
You won't try to change it?
It's not up to me.
Well, some
it's
guys may say,
at this point, it's I like being in Rochester. I'm excited about the direction that Ted Nolan and Kurt Stiers and Jody Gage want to take this team, and that's why I signed here to be a part of that. So
you try and bring over any of your old buddies?
Well, who knows?
Alexander Drew's
he's a free agent, and there's other guys that are free agents, but they're still playing, and there's you got to see how their season ends up, I guess.
Sharing phone numbers with and agents' numbers with them?
Yeah, no, I'm not allowed to. You're not allowed to talk about that stuff until July 1st. So we'll, we've got a few weeks to recover and digest what happened.